are we each gonna say?
No, Malcolm's gonna, like, you gotta do the introductions, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, yo, this is Jay. Jay, tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, okay, that's what I mean. So when you start off,
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, but you gotta be like, okay, I get what you're saying. I see.
When we drop, so for the introduction, it's gotta be like, I'll walk you through it, but the problem when we get to open play, that's just free for all, like, just.
Pick a discussion.
You say whatever you want at that point, you know what I mean? But for the intro, for the sake of like organization and like getting through it.
Yeah, it should be a script. The intro should just be a script.
We fucking sit for this video.
Espresso? That's what keep you lit. You did like a morning one with espresso.
Everyone had their drink, bro. Everyone, like, whatever it was, every episode.
That's a trademark still.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm definitely not only drinking apple juice, baby, all day.
In the espresso cup?
I think it's from Tim Hortons, bro, down low.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah, you can't say, so you have to cover it with some sort of cardboard or something.
Actually, I'll be the guy with the drink in the paper bag.
I'll be the guy with.
Hi, Alex. Alex gave away She's Beauty. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Get ready to tune in.
McIntyre joined.
It's about to be a big podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We don't podcast. Everybody for themselves. Everyone for themselves.
Every man.
Every man for himself.
Every man for himself.
Everyone for themselves.
Everyone for themselves?
Everyone for themselves.
Everyone for themselves. Then you're neutral, bro.
What we're saying, man.
Yeah, we don't want to exclude anybody.
Everyone for themselves.
Everyone for themselves.
Megan joined to make fun of us, but I'm Megan.
Another one of these, and I'm ready to talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's already fucking streaming right now, live streaming.
We're live. Hold on a second. We're live.
That's okay.
That's fine. Who cares?
Bro, I'm zooming in on you taking a video right now. Check that out.
Okay.
Oh, it's so far behind. It's so far behind.
Oh, shit. Wags up, yo.
Yo, big Wags! Megan's dissing right now. Yo, Megan's dissing right now.
Who?
Megan, why are you mad though?
Shade?
Why are you running?
Which one?
I watched it.
Definitely not. There's no way she's talking to me about that. That's crazy. You ready?
Yeah, let's
You want to
go.
bring the hoop over here?
Wait.
Yeah, but
No? Yeah, but no.
Dude.
But we can't.
Doesn't matter.
It's just tobacco.
Yo, it's just a nice flavor tobacco from me.
oh, yo, this guy's watching right
Okay, and you can hear it's good.
It's on right now, yeah, you can hear it. You can see it.
Yo, but that's from the phone, though.
Oh, that's you. That's you. Go, let me take a look at that. Let me sit over here. We're live on YouTube, baby. Let's go. That's crystal clear.
Alright, let's go. Let's go.
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Like kind of biased.
No one's listening. Oh, it's just my facial hair. It's gonna shave.
And I can live, so y'all want to watch it. Tune into YouTube. Yo, what's our YouTube channel? What's the YouTube channel?
It's on all the.
Is it on my channel?
No, we just it's on mine right
It's
now.
all on my channel, though.
It's on mine right now.
It's under what?
It's on mine. Okay.
So I already kind of did a bit of
That's
that.
TV.
Yo, tune into Freshly TV to see the rest.
I kind of think about that.
Write it down and hold it up.
Is the microphone connected? Like, we're good?
Yeah.
Yo,
I think
both of them?
Everything.
Both of them?
Yeah,
I think we're
Oh,
good.
that's wild, man.
What is the secret?
Megan's wrong with that. I just did this. Don't kill me. Oh,
Are we ending? Oh, we're keeping them live.
Oh, we keep them live?
look at this. Good.
That's it.
Oh, yo, this guy, this guy.
That's what it's on
That's
right
the
now.
TV?
Yeah, it's on right now.
This is where it's live right now. It's backwards. Fuck.
Yo,
You can say it and spell it. or whatever.
Okay.
that's just it.
So, what if I write it backwards and then try to like it in or something, you know what I mean?
That's skill. That guy's
Betsy TV. Betsy TV is where it's live right now.
You'll muck your ass, bro.
I'm
Betsy TV. FETTZY
This channel already
TV.
has like a bare there's a few people on this shit, so I'll change the name on this channel.
Okay.
For the podcast.
For sure.
And then we'll change someone to everyone for themselves.
Everyone for
Everyone
themselves.
for themselves.
That's the name after the next couple changes after, 'cause we're already live right now, so we'll change this one to everyone
to the top.
Everyone from the
Yeah.
top.
Alright, yo, guys, make sure you tune in. We haven't even live now because we want to live on YouTube channel.
Yeah, man. We're rocking, bro. We got 6 people who give a shit about our lives right now. We're rocking. Let's just keep going. Okay.
My house and yours.
Intro. Intro's good.
So like, it
That's it.
You want to go into the topic today or what?
What's that?
We want to dive into the topic today?
Our name. Remember?
What our name? That's I have that here for the intro. I mean,
What do you want to
topic
name out of
after.
this?
Yeah. What do you bring to the table specifically? What are you an expert in? What would you call yourself an expert?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
I guess today's topic could be
Just about what we're doing.
the different, yeah, and what I really wanted to focus on really in my mind was just the different mental stresses that each group has to go through. Like you're a public speaker, you go through mental stress
Yeah.
before a public show.
Yep.
You prepare for that shit. You prepare months ahead.
Right.
We prepare to go to battle. We prepare to
Yeah.
go have someone try to take
For
our heads
boxing,
off
for boxing.
while we go take someone's heads off.
Right.
But it's similar in the sense of we gotta prepare. There's a time before that we prepare and prepare, and then the time like right before where we're like, cool.
You know you did your work and you're ready to go.
Yeah, this is
Like,
it. And then we go on form.
Yo, those guys, they hit me up like 20 minutes ago.
Ooh.
Caleb,
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
all them too?
Yeah.
You're doing a good job, man. I'll tell you that for free.
What the fuck? And they
Oh my
struck
God.
out.
Oh, look at that. Megan went from talking shit to still talking shit.
Oh.
No, she said she's inspired. Tell me more, but I feel like there's a hint of sarcasm on that one.
I think so. I don't know. I'm pretty inspired by what you
No, okay, my question was like, you were talking about preparation and stuff like that, but the people that you wake up every morning, you don't prepare for that. So it's only, there's a certain type of people who have to prepare.
Yeah,
what do you mean? Anything where there's an outcome where it's like you're
I'm talking about months in advance, so I'm not talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking skateboarders, I'm talking
Yeah.
actors, I'm talking sports players, I'm talking every field. Bro.
There's always a build-up no matter
There's
what.
always a bit, yeah, always working.
Yes.
Always, you know,
Yeah.
some people's are just different than others.
Right, what about
Yeah,
the people who
but-
haven't found their field yet, and they just work 9 to 5?
That's true.
There's no preparation, they're like, they have
They
a
just gotta
basic
wake up.
routine,
They gotta wake up.
they go
gotta-
numb through the day, and that's it, and they call it a day for the day.
Yeah,
Right, so it's preparation. Preparation is only for someone who cares about the outcome.
100%.
That's
But-
it.
but
That's
yeah.
it. That's the thing.
But everything you do is preparation still, even gardening, you gotta clean the garden, you gotta get the plants. And your performance when you get good plants still. Like everything you do is preparation, there's waiting, and there's
Do you get me a beer there?
outcome.
Yes, sir.
And those people are what if they're prepping to save up for a house, or what if they're prepping to have kids one day, or what if they're prepping to
That's their grind. The 9 to 5 is their grind, but it's not their outcome. Like the 9 to 5 is your grind. That's how you get your money.
No, that's what we want. We want people to have be in the 9 to 5 and still have goals. I'm talking about the people who don't have goals. They don't have to prepare.
So you're trying to help somebody find out
Yeah.
what their talent is and what they're gonna pursue.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, that preparation that you're talking about is probably my favorite thing about playing high level rugby. It's probably my favorite thing about speaking.
Right.
That preparation where you by yourself and you said every moment, everything I'm going to do, that drive process is my favorite part. And those people who don't give a shit are literally missing out about being passionate, about being excited, about, I get excited when I think about my next talk.
Oh yeah, I get excited when I think about my next.
The
Yeah,
next fight, the next spar, the next.
I will sit on
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Even for me, every day, like when I'm in the zone, like you're running every day, you're going to the gym every day. It's kind of
I was listening to a thing today. That's what stress relief is.
100%.
Stress, you relieve stress by working out and putting yourself
Listen,
up to
y'all
something.
can't be talking in the comments, okay? Get a room or listen to the top. Thank you. This guy, but shout out Joey, man, he's a legend. Anyways, continue.
There we go. Josh is in it. Fuck, man. So
He
we
kept moving,
got
the little styrofoam kept wiggling and like throwing Josh out. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Let's go.
Let's go.
So I guess we'll talk about the battles. So what about those that are depressed, or what about those that are addicted, or what about those that's their battle that they're gotta deal with every single morning. You know what I mean? I wake up every morning. I think about my next goal. That is my thing.
Yeah, what am I gonna do today to get me one step closer to where
Yeah.
I gotta be or where
Yeah.
I want to be?
So so where are they at? You know?
I think it has to do with skill as well. I mean, I'm excited to do what I'm doing next because I'm good at it.
Yeah,
You
and
guys
I
are
know, I
excited
couldn't agree with
because
you
you're
more.
good
I
at
couldn't
it.
agree with you more because
Yeah, it
all
feels
my
really
whole,
good.
my whole life I've been, since I was 12 years old, I wasn't that good at stuff when I first started boxing, but there was a point in time I won like 20 fights in a row.
I remember.
And
I
it was
remember.
a 2-year streak, and like I was like, no, you knew you were gonna lose your face.
Mhm.
And you get this like, I don't know, for me, like I love it.
Being sick at something like that.
And I'm very confident. When I talk boxing, I know that I'm confident. I know every time I get the ring, even when I'm not in tip-top shape, I have a natural gift.
Mhm.
And like, for a long time, bro, I didn't realize that you can have a gift, but if you don't work hard,
You have to accept the responsibility.
That comes with, yeah.
You
It's
have
like,
to accept that responsibility.
I don't like when people say I want to do this but don't do any work for it. Like
Yeah.
you don't want it.
Yeah.
You just saying you want it.
Even
You know?
even me, to be honest, my whole high school, I ran away from that responsibility. I never took it in until I started living with my coach and really like putting my 100% in the body.
see, I was different. I soaked it up.
Who's
Once I won nationals and I was like #1, and like
You were like,
I could really like I am #1.
Yeah.
I was
That's like-
not like, oh, I'm good at this. I'm like, no, I won it. I'm #1. And like that changed.
Kel, who's
and
like-
people like really started walking. Man,
This
you know,
That's what that's up.
it's fun, bro. It's
Yeah.
sick.
No.
It's different. And I turned pro early. Like everyone
You
told me,
turned pro at, like,
don't turn
19,
pro, don't
20?
turn pro. And like I turned pro at 19, bro. I went 6-0, 5 knockouts, real quick. And then I kind of fell off of it, and like that's why I can relate to people that have like addiction, and I relate to all those people.
And,
Hey,
yeah,
this is my right.
and that's big though.
Jacob,
Yeah, it is.
That's big.
jump in the
That's-
live here for a
that's
second. Say hi to the fans, bro.
Yo.
They're calling you Spiky, bro. You know when you see a palm tree, get a grip. Okay, how do we get started with this intro?
Yo, plug your Instagram right now.
Yeah.
Or like your stories and shit. I put it in mine.
What's that?
The channel, plug it right now on your
Oh, yeah.
stories and shit. Yeah.
I'm live.
That's CTV.
Oh, you're.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
I'm live. No,
That's
I
TV. Go play the TV.
Story go like
Yeah,
we're live right now.
FBTTs that
And I think we're gonna do our first like intro. Maybe like we might throw a theme up there, a topic, but
We live right now.
intro, Spiky. Bro, Kel's just giving me the gears right now, bro.
Yo.
Kalila, yeah.
Why?
You're right.
While we start this intro, I want to all be sitting down ready.
Yeah.
Well, when are we gonna start it then? After we crush a couple more beers or by one? Just a single
Yo,
one?
boys.
I click one time. There we go.
We're losing people here, boys. You know, they want to see something here. They want to see the start. Want to see history.
Alright, man.
All right. Let's get started. Should we?
Let's go.
Is there space there, or is that a capital C?
The space or no space, and it doesn't matter. Okay.
Everyone for themselves, right?
Yeah, I just put
I'm
that.
gonna say every man for
Everyone for
themselves.
themselves.
I'm gonna say every man.
Yeah, that's
for
what
themselves.
it's already captioned that on the fucking.
Everyone for
It says
themselves.
everyone for himself.
Perfect. I feel like we need a sixth person.
It's everyone for themselves podcast.
Do you feel like you should be
Everyone for
No,
themselves.
that'll be our guest every time.
Everyone for themselves podcast. That's what I put as the title.
Can they not? Oh, the camera doesn't pick up if you're out there, right? On that side?
Not
We
yet.
can always adjust over.
But when we get a longer mic, I'll hear the sound.
Now, I gotta move in a bit here.
No, no.
Oh!
There's an outlet and I have to say.
It's picking you up. It is picking you up on the
Sorry.
side. It's more on your side, but like if you're right next to it, it'd be perfect. Like it'll be full.
Kel said tarps off for the boys.
Yo, did I?
Oh, take your shirt off.
Hey, you wanna see me with my shirt off?
Laura's confused, typical Laura. We're doing a podcast.
For the boys.
Tarps off. They just want to see a lot of guys with their shirts off here.
Give me a shirt off, take your shirt off.
That's the theme. That's next week's theme.
Big one camera, give him a show.
We talk about how we.
Yo, my shirt's my trademark.
Yes, thank
Yeah, that looks good. Spiky in the building. You feel me?
Yo, we got outlets? Oh, yes.
Is there one close by?
you. In all seriousness, we gotta get this plugged in. We gotta get this show on the road, though. Look at this. Low
this
battery. This frustrates me just looking at it. To be honest, though, my phone is not.
Alright, yo.
Yo, same, bro. Mine's about to die on live.
It's with the.
Are we keeping the lives on, yo? Do I want people to watch on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, we were.
Should I turn it off at the live?
Yeah, my phone's almost dead anyway, so.
Start plugging the channel on your guys' stories.
I'm about to tweet you, like, as soon as we're
Hello,
about to
Lucas
start.
Cal.
Yeah, what's good? It's Spiky. Spiky in the building.
Spike Lee, baby.
45 people viewed that.
Alright, bro, it's time to end it. Let's get rolling for real.
Okay, sick.
We have, you fit in the angle now?
What's that?
You fit in the camera now?
Yeah, everyone's
Can you see everybody good?
I think so.
We just can't see the live.
The only shitty part is we have to go like this to see each other.
I know that. Yo, whenever you have to like talk to Josh, I'm like, let's do it, you know, like.
Yeah, I'm like this. It's so funny.
Can you, oh yeah, you can't even go on that side too, right?
But you know, this is just today though, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
It's
I-
like, honestly, next time we're gonna have two angles.
No, we're not taking our shirts off.
Don't care about the other side.
It's not gonna happen.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, angle, let's go.
But you got
We're
your
gonna like, what's it called? FETT.
I do, I have an active.
Backwards. FETT.
Put it on your story, put it on your story.
It's gonna go on my story, but like, if you wanna watch, we're live right now on YouTube, so just take a look later.
Keo, I'm gonna.
I got 47 views. What'd you get? 45, that's already over now.
Okay, yo, I put it on my story, so since you're rolling.
there you go.
That's so fast, bro.
Oh, you got the fat smiley on the hand, dog. Oh my god.
Only the fattest
My
man.
buddy did it.
Who did it?
One of my buddies.
Oh, I thought you said they did it. Oh,
This can stay.
Yeah, get those off.
This has to
So
go.
we get all the.
Actually, can we switch gears?
But like, it's the brand.
yeah, just like Old Mom, we'll do the Bud Light boys and get fucking brand deals.
Let me do it.
And
I'm drinking the bush.
I'm still in it, bro.
Also, this mic is right in front of us. Oh shit, that was so close.
The camera's down.
the camera's left.
Our camera's when you ask
Oh, yeah, I thought it was with the light, eh?
Yeah, well, no, yeah. All I just did was go, oh! What?
Does somebody have one reader voice?
No, I have one on that.
No!
Shit, I had one over there for
I have one with the thumb.
Alright, so.
Can you grab one actually while you're there?
Yeah,
Thanks,
sure.
I appreciate that. I'm just buzzing pints, boys. Jeez.
Okay, guys. It's time to start. Yo, yeah,
Last night was.
Last night was sick.
Last night.
Last night was fun. Oh, I gotta throw
Honestly, I literally just got
Tune
this guy.
Tune in. Fancy, what is it? Fancy
Fancy TV. Where's the
I'll write
sheet?
it. I'll write it so you can see.
Fancy TV, baby.
I'll write it.
Alright, my dude right here, bro. 5 what up?
All right.
Alright, let's do
Is
this.
it a capital T?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't, yeah, it doesn't matter.
How many viewers do we got? Can we see? I can't see it from here.
Thanks, sir.
Anyone else? Do you want to keep going?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, sure.
Well, which one's yours, bro?
It is one of those right there.
I know. I mean, honestly, you can just talk to him, bro. I know you guys don't got nothing.
Fancy's actually a sweet name, though, eh?
It is kind of sick.
I kind of like it.
That's what it says.
I kind of like it.
That's my nickname. That's my last name.
But you can't say that, bro. Hey, y'all for that.
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro?
Shout out Zanzibar. You know we're live right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just toss secrets in front of the camera.
You guys get all of your info.
I know what you're. These are nice cameras. I know it picked up on it too.
It's not even the camera, bro. It's the mic right in front of you.
Oh,
It's back.
whatever we just said is a lot.
Yeah.
So what you guys take on like, cause I'm a pretty spiritual guy, like, I'm being serious, and I don't, do you guys know what a retrograde is?
I thought you were going to say crystals. You know the fucking crystals that everyone like loves those things?
Oh yeah, change
Yeah, man, I'm into that shit, bro. I think that if you believe in something, like, people always go, what happens when you die, right? I honestly think that it's whatever you think. It's whatever you believe. Like, if you think you're gonna go meet Jesus Christ and the heavy, like the pearly gates, that's gonna happen. If you think you're gonna just die, that's gonna happen.
Have you noticed, like, usually when you want something,
Whatever
you
happens,
want something to come to
Alright.
That's what I'm saying,
Right?
see? You
Yeah,
have to
it's a lot,
you understand what I'm saying.
Boys, you ready?
Yeah, it's
You know, some guys,
I might wake up a tree when I die, bro.
who
You have
knows?
to see,
Bro, who knows? You know what I mean?
Okay,
No, let's be real. Jake wants to be the monkey. I want to go. Like a monkey.
Dude, monkeys actually love keep lit.
Yo, it's so sick.
Like,
They plant it on
not a lot of players.
Yo, if somebody
They
comes
don't
on
get
a curve, they scrap it out.
Yeah,
monkeys, bro. I swear.
we talking about
Monkeys are dope, but I'm still
Monkeys,
with the
gorillas, apes, chimpanzees, all the cousins.
Baboons.
With the big old ones, bro.
Let's stick to the topics here, boys. Okay,
Let's do this.
are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking right at the camera, or are we gonna talk to each other?
No, we should talk to each other.
Yeah, this is just there.
Well, you gotta look over and then look at the camera and shit like, when you're talking.
Okay, so you guys ready? So I'll just go like 3, 2, 1, we'll start.
Yeah.
Even though it's already like rolling.
Yeah, and so you already know in your head who
I think
you
so.
can introduce first and everything.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll start here, and we'll go through.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll go 3. What's up, everybody? This is Everyone for Themselves. This is the first podcast we've ever had. We've got a lot of talent at this table within our craft and within speaking, and we've got lots of messages that we want to share, and we're thrilled to be here. We've got a crazy office. We look very professional, even though it's only our first gig, but we're super stoked to get started. So let's talk about our name for a second. Why Everyone for Themselves? Why did we take that?
Because it's everyone for themselves, and everybody wakes up alone, and they go and they have their own day alone, and they go to bed alone.
At the end of the
Everyone
day,
for
it's
themselves.
everyone for themselves, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's got their
Yeah.
struggle, and we want to help you like find a way to fight that, you know, and live happy.
You're in your grind alone. You're doing your thing, like, alone.
Well, you guys have a lot of boxing experience, and obviously boxing, like you're on the big stage for a little bit, but a lot of it is grinding on your own.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
it.
what nobody sees.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We said this the other day, man. Like, it is a very lonely sport, but when you got homies that actually train with you, and
Yeah.
they're in the gym with you every day.
Oh, it's all about the team, bro.
Like, you are alone. When you're in the ring, it's one-on-one, and you're very alone.
Yeah.
But like when you're training with the boys, it makes it way easier when you're going up, waking up at 5 a.m. before work, a 10-hour day at work. And when you're alone, yeah, you do it because you got to do it. But like when you got your homie beside you, running with you, and you're like, hey, it feels better, bro. And like for me, I like being alone sometimes, but I need both. I need balance.
But I think everybody needs people.
Arnold's
Yeah.
said to himself, man, the gym partner, yo, that's like the number one thing.
Yeah.
It is. It helps people go like farther, stronger, push
It does.
themselves.
The dream work makes
Set
teamwork
himself
makes
apart.
But I mean, what about you? What about your team on public speaking and everything? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with you guys. Like within myself, public speaking it's very individual. But I've got mentors. I've got people who are helping me like tap into my creativity. I've got people who are reaching out and supporting that I've never even met. So it's very individual in the sense that I deliver by myself. Whereas you guys train by yourself, people talk to me every single day. And as a speaker and as an artist, every discussion I have within the day is a story. Right? And I mean, for us podcasters, you guys are going to experience the exact same thing. When you walk down the street and you see a couple and they're arguing, that's not a couple arguing anymore. That's why are they arguing. That is a story. That is, you know what I mean? You gotta put yourself into their shoes. And I think with our name here, Everyone for Themselves, is that although you guys train together and although we're going to do this podcast together, we are very much individuals, and we have our own story. We've had our own hurdles.
Yeah.
We've had our own troubles. We've had everything. But exactly like you said with the boxing, is we can choose to team up, and I think that's what we did here.
And that's what honestly you couldn't have said it better, man. Like the name Everyone for Yourselves, he just nailed it right on the head. And because we are our own individuals, but as a team and a unit, teamwork makes the dream work. Man.
I think we're going to do really big things as well. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So let's start on this end. So just introduce yourself and let's just kind of explain what you bring to the table. What are you an expert in? If somebody that's watching says like this is a really great podcast, what can you do to impact their life?
So thanks everyone for tuning in. It's Josh the Boss Wagner. I'm 6-0, 5 knockouts as a professional boxer. I've been boxing since I was 12 years old. To be honest, boxing has saved my life. I've been through many ups and downs, which I'm sure we'll get into further on. But I'm just here because I want to share my story and I want people to know. I like when people are happy. I'm happy. People always ask me, "Oh, what makes you happy?" when people around me are happy, and that's the truth. So out of this, I want people to know they're never alone in struggles, and there always is a light at the end of the tunnel.
No, that's a great intro. Jake?
I'm Jake Dayo. I've been boxing ever since I was 10 years old as well. I've got 90 plus amateur fights, 4 Canadian titles, 5 Golden Gloves titles. I've fought around the world, I've seen a lot, and I've got my own personal experience as well of life where I've had times where life's had me backed up and I gotta come back swinging. And that's not gonna stop forever. And I just want you guys to be here with me, and hopefully I can reach out to somebody that needs to listen.
Awesome. I'm Malcolm Hooper. So I'm a rugby player. I'm also a second-year marketing student at Durham College. I play at the provincial level, and I also play with my amazing club team in Oshawa. I'm also a new public speaker. This is the second event I've ever done. My video just went viral on Facebook with over 600,000 views. It's pretty exciting, so if you want to check that out, go check it out on YouTube. It's just Malcolm Hooper.
Hey, please check that out.
Let's
Please
go.
check that out. That one's a good one for yourself.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, bring your tissues, man.
So I'm teaming up with these guys, and we're just going to start this podcast. I feel that I can bring my leadership experience. I feel that I can bring my past. If you check out my video, you'll understand all about my past, and we'll get into it further in the podcast. But I feel like I can bring my past, my present, and hopefully the future into this podcast. Jacob?
Hi, I'm Jacob Thompson. I box. I'm on the come up. I have my first provincial tournament Golden Gloves coming up in October, I think it is.
Yeah.
So grinding, getting ready for that, just doing my thing. What I bring to the table is that, I like everyone else said, I like to see people feel good. When people are happy, it's a good feeling. When you help somebody and knowing you can possibly change a life or like help somebody out, it feels good. So that's why I'm here, and that's what I bring to the table.
Alright, I'm Jake Beverly, video editor. I've been doing I'm the tech guy, going around here. I do a lot of the tech, and I've been doing this since I was a kid. I'm Ontario and Canadian Rising Star for football. Been playing since I was a kid. Made number 1 in Ontario, number 3 in Canada. Just been playing and grinding ever since I was a kid, and I'm the tech guy here. That's what I bring to the table.
It's definitely needed because this setup took us far too long. I think I got in here at like 6 something, and it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock coming on. It's all gonna be worth it, hopefully.
Plus, we got to set up now, so next time it'll be
We'll just go
quick.
ahead, exactly. So just a question, just out for the table. What do you guys expect of this podcast? Obviously, we know it's cringy when people hop on their social media, just try to pitch motivation with no backup, right? And we know it's cringy, and you know what? I feel kind of odd doing this myself, and I think all 5 of us are putting ourselves out there. We're going out on a limb. What do you guys kind of expect to learn from this or to gain from this?
It's an experience. It's a new experience for a lot of us. You're getting into it too. You put up the video, you're blowing up. It's all new. Everything's new to us. We're trying to make something.
And exactly what you said, we're putting ourselves out there, man. Yeah. I need to keep practice putting myself out there because I want to be somebody someday.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I want kids to look up to me. I want to be there for them.
We want people to take from us and learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. I want people learning and people learning from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want a big goal of mine is I want to help the youth out of my hometown.
Exactly.
For me, man, growing up, all I was defined as was a boxer. So this kind of brings, I like helping people, I like talking to people, I like crowds, I like doing all that. For me, this is it's different. I've never tried anything like this before. I'm very excited about it. And
So you won't just be Josh the boxer anymore.
And that's what I'm saying.
I feel that too.
We'll get into identity later, but you get caught up in your identity, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm becoming the speaker, I'm becoming Malcolm Hooper, the public speaker. That's not the case. It's going to always be Malcolm Hooper, the speaker, the rugby player, the hopefully father, you know what I mean, the husband, the whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not just Malcolm Hooper, the speaker. It's not Malcolm Hooper, the rugby player, right? And we're going to talk about identity later. We'll get into that.
We have real lives.
We have real lives.
Just like everyone else.
That's crazy because our lives, we came from Orangeville.
We're all from small towns.
I was born and raised in Orlando.
Me too.
Yeah,
Same, small town.
Same.
Just raised, but Scarborough.
Scarborough, G, what up, bro?
but 5 guys come together with this cringy dream that we're trying to take on here. Why, like, what do you guys think about Orangeville? Like, in terms of like our message, doing something like this isn't heard of.
I know.
No one does this.
And that's why it's a good thing that we're doing this. This is why this is part of my goal of doing this, because I never had really any of this to really look up to.
Right.
I mean, my coach was the man. He was a Canadian champ, the man around town. I always aspired to be like him, but now with technology and everything, we can really help out a lot of people. Right?
Yeah, even upcoming talent in Orangeville. Like,
That's
if this
what
is
I'm
big
saying.
enough that everyone in Orangeville knows, or some people in Orangeville listen, that's just exposure for the talent in this
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
We can help other people out and get them to levels that can help them out, get them known.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing we want to do is get upcoming talent in Orangeville and
Yeah.
other places.
Yeah, we want to
Right,
help the
stretch,
whole
stretch
town.
it.
We'll help the town as a whole
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
We want to stretch
But
the
I want to talk
Toronto.
like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Orangeville's mad love all the time. Like, I want to do this like Canada.
we wanna-
I want to do this.
Yeah, but like,
I want to do this.
We're not doing
Orangeville to Toronto.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Yeah.
we want to start. We want to branch out. We want to make the branch.
We're not talking in the park, in an Orangeville park to Orangevillians.
No.
This is out there, man.
To everyone.
This is out there. And for them listening, they gotta understand that, like, every time we sit at this table, it's gonna be guard down.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah, we're putting
That's
ourselves
absolutely,
out there.
that's absolutely terrifying, because I'll tell you something, if I talk to like even the closest people in my life, I censor that story every time. There's parts that I don't tell them.
Oh, 100%.
And there's parts that, even if I was to tell you the story right now, that I might catch myself cutting out.
Yeah.
That we're gonna have to like stop it and play it for these people, because it's bigger than us right now. Right? It's bigger than us. And I think I'm excited for that. I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited for that. So, topics. Let's talk topics here. What are you guys thinking? Like, what do you want to be heard? Is there a specific topic? I know identity was out there for a second.
Identity.
Identity, is there something you struggled with? that
Well,
you-
for me, like, I have a hard time talking about it because it's very fresh for me. I was, like I said before, I was a professional fighter. I turned pro really early. I had 6 fights in 3 years, and I'm undefeated. And all of a sudden, I just fell off. Just boom, gone. Like, I was known as the pinnacle of boxing. Like, this is the best prospect in Canada. And then I fell off.
Right.
And people kind of like, man, like, people don't realize all they do is they're like, oh, what's he doing? They hear stories, they hear something like, oh, he's up, he's partying, he's doing this. And I'm not gonna lie, for so long I tried to mask that and be like, no, I'm good. But I started partying. One of my friends died. And, you know, I was going through a very dark time. And people don't realize this shit. Like, all they see is you're the man. They don't know what actually happens behind
closed doors.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody's just looking into the
You
picture.
gotta be
They just
brave.
say,
You
"Ah,
gotta be
fuck."
brave every day you're in public.
That's why it's every man for himself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's every man for himself. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You got that kind of stuff, but there's stuff that you keep to yourself.
Uh-huh.
So within that experience that you had there, what would you focus on if there was a message or if there was a theme that we could all touch on and all pitch in for say a session? What theme would you draw from that experience?
Well, for me, I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual.
Okay.
So my message would be just stay positive, stay happy. Positive creates more positivity.
Okay.
Negative overtakes and creates negative. So like, I'm very, like, if you wake up every day, I know it's hard. Some days it's hard. You don't want to go to work, you don't want to wake up, go for a run, you don't want to do these things. But for me, I find I do struggle with it still. But when I overcome that and do it, I feel so
Yeah,
good.
honestly.
I
Friday,
feel-
Never gets easier. Never.
No.
Every morning you
Nobody wants to wake up at 5 and go for a 5K run and then go to work all day.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that.
No, then you wake up, you're like,
No, I press snooze, bro, like 100 times.
Yeah, I still press snooze, bro. Like, god damn, my mom said it's early and I hit snooze, bro.
How many times do you guys press snooze in the morning for your
Probably 3.
3 times?
I don't press this.
I set my alarm.
I do that right away.
I'm one and done. If I'm not one and done, I will stay on
Emotions created by motion. That's what I try.
Yo, I have like a whole alarm in my head.
Yeah.
I wake up like,
Yeah, you know those ones where you don't set the alarm?
I wake up.
You wake up and you're like, oh my
I
god.
don't wake up really long. But no, it's because you subconsciously.
You're
know
used
what
to
to
it.
do.
Your body knows.
Okay, how about this? So when you wake up, I didn't do this for a long time. I used to wake up and just be in a rush, be like, fuck. But do you know if you wake up, one simple task, if you make your bed,
Oh, I do.
Oh,
I do that.
you
Every
do so
morning.
fast.
I do that
Yeah,
every
I
morning.
saw that video on Bullcast.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
I get disappointed in myself if I don't make my bed.
No, dude.
And it really doesn't get easier. Every morning I'm kind of like, oh, I'm gonna make my bed.
It's something
But I
small.
still
Also,
do.
like a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I saw the video. That was a very moving video, actually. I was just talking about how like you get a small sense of pride, and then he was talking about how even if your day goes to shit, you end up coming back to that bed.
You're like, you know.
That bed that's made by you. You did that, right? So.
I did do that.
So maybe like we got positive energy, and we got identity. What do you guys want to see? Is there something you guys want to see? A theme?
Wait, okay, throughout the whole series?
Yeah, like anything.
Oh, we're gonna talk relationships. We're gonna talk everything that's relevant at the time.
There's still so many topics yet to pop up. The
About-
relevancy at that time.
About being young, about stories, about when we were even younger, about growing up, about a lot.
Everything.
No, when you just said that, I literally thought of the story.
Same, bro.
We
We
got a lot. We got a lot.
We got tons of time, man. You guys got a story that pops in your brain. By all
Buddy,
means,
so me and Jake,
jump in.
I love all these guys here, but me and Jake have the closest bond.
We go back.
We go a long time, and I was friends with his older brother for a long time, and like just a family. Like when I was out west for 6 years, and when I moved back,
It was like I saw him yesterday.
and I lived at their house, and open arms, got from food made, it's family. So me and Jake, we have a lot of stories that we're gonna share with you. But I might just start laughing halfway through, and that's just how
We
it
got
is,
some
man.
crazy
You know, that's just how it is, dude.
So that's what you guys expect to see then. So, question for you guys: who's done anything like this in the past?
I have. We're probably the closest.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
I'm not. You done this?
What, like podcasts or just video and shit? I made YouTube videos and
Yeah,
stuff.
true. Yeah, you're just
For me,
streaming.
I have any pro fights on sports.
Okay. Want to give a quick shout out to that?
Well, we're on it right now, baby.
That's the TV. Let's go.
Yo, that, you know why my name was Lit? That was my last name. Made into a fucking
So you're the only real person with like camera experience right now.
Yeah, I took 2 years. I did 2 years of school for it.
Yeah, but I had 3 fights on Sportsnet, so like before they want to know who you are, so like they do little interviews and I'd be shouting.
I still have football footage from we played on Rogers TV too. Like it was on TV. You know, if you guys know Roy Woods, the Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played him in Turner Clinton.
Oh,
We
really?
played them on TV. Sure.
Wow.
We were undefeated, like the lost to champions.
And then we had press conferences and a lot of media coverage. But as for like, I've always wanted to like apply to like Big Brother Canada, like go.
Oh,
Or, like
yeah.
me and my older brother, like we wanted to go on Amazing Race,
Mhm.
and we were almost gonna make a video of us being like the 2 professional boxers.
You should've
So
Yeah,
that's
you would have got on if you were doing that.
So let's hold there for a second. So you just said that this stuff that you guys want to do. Let's talk bucket list for a second.
Oh, I really thought.
Skydiving.
I enjoyed
He was on the car right here. I slid under the table and said, "This is the next question, man. This is the next question." I think we should just pause there.
Yeah, we'll be able to edit that
Yeah, let's pause
out.
there.
I think we're still on YouTube.
We're on high, bro.
I do better.
Let's stay alive, bro. Let's stay alive. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Brief intermission. Yeah, can people like ask questions and stuff?
Yo, my homie's like, where can I watch a podcast? You cut them live.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check my phone too.
Man, I can't move it around that way.
Can you draw me out that down out there?
Yeah.
Thank you. No worries. Well, in that case, I really don't care how long it's
Oh, gossip break?
Yeah.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Yo, should I clean this up a bit or what? No? What? How you doing, bro? Big dog. Hi. Spicy? Oh, spicy. That's hilarious.
Spiky.
Yeah,
Yo,
is there-
that's gotta be your account.
Yo, is there a guy? Spicy?
Josh is like bathroom break. Me and him kiss off the fucking balcony.
Yeah. She had the first 10 minutes, just kind of like And then once you
I love it. I don't even care for cameras because like I made those videos for you. Like it's so embarrassing, but for school, like we had to make those and put them in front of the school for like remember the talent shows and shit. Dude, I did fucking Kurt Cobain the something in the remember Zilly?
You know,
We all seen the man at the liquor store.
back and forth.
In my video, I had he looks like if he made a dress up as a fucking star and shit. Like he looks like he's all like poor. It was so funny.
No way, bro. That's actually
Bro, it's cold as fuck down here. We don't have this normal.
Yo, how do you tell how many people leave? Do you tell how many people watching?
But these are so full.
This is just the chat right there.
what's still full?
Well, I'm watching it right now.
Oh.
No, I have no idea.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Jake, I wasn't cold on that. I'm so cheese.
I was cold on this so cheese. I want to ask you, like, where did you find? Did you always have this confidence and know you could be a speaker?
No. Holy shit, man.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah, we gotta wait. That's questions you guys. But a lot of things too.
But like this guy, honestly, we just recently met, man, and like
Yeah.
You said you know him forever, right?
and that the same.
We met
that's how I know I know.
yesterday. Or no, we slept over 2 days ago.
We had a sleepover, so we're. No, honestly, man, real shit. Like, there's not many people. I don't like many people. I used to be very shady and be like, oh, I have a small circle. And like, honestly, meeting people like you give me like, I'm like, what is this guy? What's your story, bro? Like,
You know what?
I watched the
The
video.
vibe was the exact same though. You know what I mean? The vibe was the exact same. And like I said, we're getting really into it, but we gotta go back on here.
Yeah, let's get back. So we'll edit that all out and then start back up when we start back.
Yeah, this is just a live. They get a preview of anything.
Yeah, that's okay. We get that.
That's unverse-
So we can cut
Yeah.
this out, like,
Yeah. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to learn all that. So
that's what the see.
where do we did anybody know where we left off?
It was intros. It was what we expected.
Oh, he was just talking about what we want to do in the future
themes.
podcasts and like themes.
Oh yeah, themes. That's right.
Let's move past that. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. Let's get this down here. What's some other things that we want to cover just in the next like part here, just to record?
Well, he's about to hit you what he just hit you with.
Yeah.
So you always have that confidence. We'll talk about
Yeah,
confidence.
confidence.
Confidence. Okay. What else?
I think,
Yo, you want to get deep today? Or
honestly,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot.
You want to get deep today?
Yeah.
So let's get deep today. We'll
Yeah.
go
I think
all
we'll-
go personal, bro.
I think there's a lot of people that don't. They have like they're forced by their parents to have this identity, or they feel like they're gonna let their parents down.
Mhm.
I think we relate a lot to that.
Oh yeah.
So like,
Oh my
I
god.
want to do like,
Less though. My parents like.
you know what I mean? So like, I want people. I want
So
people to know that.
that's perfect. Like the difference between like a supporting family and an unsupporting family.
Yeah, I come from a broken family.
Yeah.
Like, I got it was fucked up. The divorce
Okay.
really was.
So
Yeah, me too.
people that drive you, or the flip side to that would be not drive you. People that you feel like restrain you.
Oh,
I heard
man.
it sometimes. I heard
Ball
it.
chain.
Thank you. So I honestly.
Your ball chain.
Yeah.
I said a song. It doesn't matter if it's family or friends. If it's negative energy and it's not for you, it sounds really hard. But
Yeah,
like,
come on.
because sometimes you have to be so self-absorbed.
So hold on.
It can be your man, even like people you grew up with and shit.
Yeah, bro, you be your own brother.
And you know what? Most of
You
the
be your
time
own
it
brother.
is.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like there's people like we've grown up with and shit, especially in a small town.
Oh yeah.
Some people just don't. They're very judgmental and like they don't even want to see it. Like we have a connection here because we have a vision and like we see something greater. But not many people. Not everyone has that.
No.
And
No,
like,
we're gifted, bro.
Yeah, it's a gift.
I'm different. Yeah, I'm different.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
I do.
Should we get it rolling first?
Yeah, let's get it rolling.
Okay, alright, let's go. We back.
Okay, let's go. 3. Okay, so we got a couple things lined up here. We're talking confidence. You had a question?
So my question was, I just recently met my friend here, and Malcolm was honestly, I've only known him for a couple of days now, and honestly I'm a true believer that when things happen, there's science in the universe, they put things together. This man has confidence that I've never spoken in front of a lot of people, and like, he showed me this video, and it was actually very inspirational, and if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go check it out. But my question to you was, where did you have this confidence and you have this aura around you, like, where did that come from?
So honestly, I was not a confident kid. Like I did my stuff, I did my schoolwork, I went home, I wore like just things that wouldn't make me stand out. And then the difference was teachers loved me, and then the kids thought I was weird. Like the students thought I was weird. And there's that weird like threshold because if you're popular, the teachers are like eh. And then if you're unpopular, the teachers are like yes, and then everybody else is like no. So you know what I mean? So I was on like the teacher and the nerd side of it for a very long time. And I think this switch happened when I was forced into my circumstance. So like when I was removed from my family home at age 16, because at that point I was probably the least confident person in the world, even less confident than I already was for an extended period of time. Once people took me under their wing and I was truthful with myself and I came to the realization that I was on my own. Not just like looking around, okay, I'm on my own, but I had to fully face that and say, Malcolm, you are on your own. There's nobody else, there's nobody gonna make a difference, you're gonna make a difference. And that's exactly what confidence is.
So are you saying that's when it happened?
That's when it happened. That's when I realized.
That's when you were like to the world.
Yeah, so think about it, right? When you guys go to your boxing ring or you go to whatever, and think about when you're confident. Why are you confident? You're confident because you're doing it for you. You're confident because no one else can stop you except for you. And then when I came to that realization on my own, I can't be not confident when every single thing I did in my life came back to bite me. And you know what? It was positive. Anything that I did positively, it came back and it was successful. Anything negative bit me in the ass, and I had to take ownership for both sides.
Yeah.
And then I became more confident because I saw the more I was putting myself out there, the more I put myself on the line, the more people opened up to me because I was hiding from people.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I put myself out there, people put them like reciprocated.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing that I respect about you is you didn't even have a talent. You had really not much family, and you found it on your own. Like that's so.
That took some.
I always respect for that. I always had the talent. I always had the name that I was Jake the Boxer, so that helped my confidence. Right. You know what I mean? And you never had that, so you had to really think of it and teach yourself. Because you never met your real family, like your real mom and dad, right?
No, I haven't met my biological family. I have paperwork on them. I got that last year. It's very thick. It took me a long read. I read it through 3 times. That's the only information I have on them. So when I say that, like I'm in this like by myself, I'm in this for me.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's good, man. Like I've learned from that. I've grown from that, and I said in my speech too, like I'm proud of who I was because.
Good for you.
If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be at this table right now with you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything that happens in your life, there's a build-up to, like, you don't just end up somewhere.
People that are going through like bad shit right now, if they could actually understand what you just said, and like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I said it before, and like, and I truly believe that. Like,
yeah. So let me tell you a really weird story. Okay. So when I was in my foster home and I was getting looked at to be adopted. Okay. My parents, my adopted parents, went to Russia, adopted my brother, came home, and they wanted one more kid. Just one. And at the adoption agency, they group you based on siblings. So my sister and I, same mom, different dad, should have been grouped in the siblings pile, which is a pile that my parents would have like pushed away, not even gone through because they wanted one kid. But the agency messed up, and they put my sister and myself in the singles pile. Okay? The only pile that my parents sifted through. So they went through the adoption paper, they saw me, and they showed my brother, and my parents had told me the story a million times. They showed my brother pictures of like me, I was in that mix. My brother pointed at me and said that one, and then they shuffled it up, and then they said pick another one, and they pointed back at me and said that one. So they came and did visits, and long story short, I got adopted. Okay? But if that agency worker does their job properly, I'm grouped in the siblings pile.
How did you find all this out?
So I have had like stories from my adopted parents. They've walked me through a lot of this stuff. But when I turned 18, I requested that paperwork from the adoption agency.
Of your own intense past.
Yes, that I had no idea what it was. Right? You're told all your life, oh, your parents couldn't take care of you, so they gave you opportunity, blah, blah, blah. But when I read that was an opportunity. I was taken from my home because they found traces of crack cocaine in my system as an infant. Okay, and when you get those paperwork, and it's you by yourself. We went back to like the being alone and being you're a boxer, you're on your own. And for me, right, that was myself in a room reading through a file that had extensive detail on my past. It said Malcolm was rejecting this baby formula. Malcolm had to be taken out of church the other day because he had a crazy temper tantrum that may be drug induced. And I had to sit there and read that, and ultimately, like I've had my rough things with my parents and everything, but ultimately I felt awful. Felt like I was a shit child.
You remember that? You remember getting kicked out of that church?
Of course I remember.
You do?
Of course.
So you were wilding out.
I remember like parts of it. I was 3 years old. I got adopted when I was three. I was adopted when I was 3. So I remember parts, and then obviously a lot of it's like back to photos, and you know what I mean. You remember that a lot. And but I don't remember that particular scene. But I remember the type of kid I was. Right, and I remember that was plausible. That makes sense, and then I feel bad for like how I was acting as a
Don't feel bad, bro.
Yeah, you're a kid.
Right. But this is your life, man. It's like, don't you wish that identity could have been perfect?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, it can't be.
Of course,
Obviously, it
I'm
can't
not
be.
and I'm like,
But
damn.
and you're like, oh, I wish I couldn't have done it. Obviously, I didn't have a choice, but I wish I didn't do that. So that's how I felt. But that's where the confidence stemmed from. It's just like realizing that I'm in it by myself, and now obviously not by myself. But the confidence still goes through.
Thanks, man. Honestly, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's talk about motivation and drive. Let's talk about the difference between drive and motivation, because there's a lot of driven people in this room right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're here because we're driven people.
We're doing this because we're driven.
Yeah,
We
so-
just started this to show them we got the drive to go ahead and do this.
So Jacob, run me through what your schedule looks like, and then walk me through your motivation or your drive, and when that slips or when that falls, what do you do to get back?
Well, like for me, my schedule is I usually start work at 7, sometimes early. It's not always set times. I'm an apprentice for an electrician right now. So like some days I start super early, some days I don't start as early. But some mornings I try to get up and go for a run, and then I go eat my breakfast and I go to work. I work till about 4:30, 5 o'clock some nights. I go home, grab a quick bite, and then I'm off to the gym to train. And that's pretty well every day.
That's it.
That's every day.
That's it.
I get up, do the same thing, and then go to work. But like, it's hard because there's times I go home after work and I lie down in my bed and I'm like, oh, this feels so good. And then you know you gotta get up and go to the gym because you gotta play in 2 weeks. And it's like, I'm off now. You gotta go grind.
And then you pull the Undertaker, and you're just like, no.
Literally, you just get up and go. But like, another thing that makes it easy is obviously like the team. Like, you know, you're not going to the gym alone. You're going in at the gym. This time
And a lot of the times you do need that.
Yes.
Like, my training and my skill and everything went up when I was surrounded by greatness.
Okay.
Every morning I was woken up with a team to go run. That helped me a lot.
Think about the guy that has no team.
That's
So
tough.
I don't, you know what I like to do? I don't get me wrong. I love to be like a part of the team.
That's me.
But I literally will do visualization, bro. Where like
But you have
you have to. No team, by yourself, no music. Because I run every morning with music on. Music.
Yeah.
It keeps me in the zone. I don't feel as tired. But like sometimes when you're fighting, there's no music. So like for me, I like to just sometimes I go for runs with no music, and I'm in my own head. I'm in my own zone.
But sometimes it's that choice. Like it was my choice to go move with my coach and his son who was a national. So that was me. I did that alone. I made that choice, and I put myself in a better place, which everybody can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I remember there's times where I work late and I'd go to the gym alone.
Yeah,
And I would train or I'd wake up before work in the wintertime and go to the gym alone.
And that's why
train
you're,
by
and that's why
myself.
you're such a champion in such a short time. 2 years you've been boxing top 5 in Canada, because that's what you did. Nobody does.
But this guy's last fight, I said
Broke the guy's ribs, bro.
What do you do? Even like for my own fights, I don't get nervous. I've fought so many times, I don't get nervous anymore. But like when I watch my friends or family fight, I get all fucking weird. I'm like,
Oh, I know. It's a different feeling.
I'm so
It's a different
nervous.
kind of nervous.
And like,
Yeah.
and you know,
That's not you. You're like.
I'm like, I don't get nervous.
Yeah.
So I see Homie get hit with a punch, I'm like, oh my god, I start freaking out, dude. I'm like, move your head. I'm like, move, you know? But he's in there by himself. And his last fight, I told you this character, bro.
Yeah.
He showed a serious character, dude.
So walk me through that. What do you mean by show serious character?
So I've seen a lot of boxing matches, and Man, this guy was number 2 in Canada that he was fighting. National B team fighter. The guy was a serious dude from Quebec. And this guy first round, he ate some big shots where I was like, oh, he might get stopped.
Like Jacob.
And then all of a sudden, yeah, Jacob got hit with some big shots. So like, usually I started getting worried. What does the guy do? He comes out and like, bro, he busted this guy. It was a really, really close fight. Seriously close fight.
And that's how I know you're gonna go far in life.
Yeah, bro. It's not even just boxing. This is like that fight.
You got that in you where you get hit, but you come back swinging, bro. I love that.
So the thing that I'm picking up right here is that everyone's life is very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have our own grind. We all get exhausted. We all get excited. There's different like waves to it. But we wake up, we do what we need to do, and we go to bed. And that's the thing that I think we all have in common. So my question is, why do people slip? If it seems very simple.
Too easy, man.
It seems very simple.
It's
to
a
me.
lot easier to slip.
Yeah, man. You know how much easier it would be to lie in a bed instead of go to the gym? Just that simple thing right there. Just to lie down and say, oh man, I just want to chill.
But why don't you?
Because
you have
I see what I want to do and I know that I gotta get that. Like the only way I'm gonna get it is by getting out of bed.
Do you ever not see it though? Is it ever fuzzy?
Yeah, man. All the time.
Because I get that.
I see that. Like,
I get
what am
that.
I doing? Why am I doing this for? Is this gonna fail?
Yeah.
But you just gotta keep going, man. That's the only words to say.
The only way to find out is to try, man.
Yeah.
If you stop trying, then it's not gonna work out. But man, you don't know. If you try, you can do it, man.
So that's exactly what happened to me with this speaker slam competition. That was my first speaking event. I didn't do coaching. If I was to listen to this podcast, I'd listen to this podcast and then I would probably pick up my script and I'd go into that contest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the definition of jumping into the deep end, and it proved to be so successful. Now my question is, those people that jump into the deep end and don't come out successful, what's our message to them?
The only time you don't come out successful is if you stop, man.
But why don't we stop?
Because you win or you lose 100% of the fights you don't take.
Right.
So
Okay.
That's 100% it. You know,
Right.
like you don't try, you're never okay. You don't try, that eliminates you even getting the chance to succeed.
Yeah. And I was thinking like the next one would have been the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the next one?
But
You
that's
mess up,
usually how
the
it
next-
is.
Yeah.
Life tests you so much where you're at the point where you want to fold, but that's the time where you have to. You have to keep going.
And I think we were rewarded for taking that
Risk.
that risk.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a risk in it, and in what we do.
100%.
100%.
Oh, yeah, in everything.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move past that. So why are we here? So who drives you? So this is a very individual sport, as boxing is. I'm doing a very individual thing in my life right now as well, public speaking.
But even like gaming. He was talking about it earlier.
Streaming, yeah. Very individual. Very individual.
It could be, you could work at the convenience store. You could be
Yeah.
a mechanic. You could be whatever. It's the general aspect. Everything is the same. It doesn't make sense, but like literally, if you're at the gym, if you're not going to the gym, as long as you're on your grind or you have a goal, then that's what that's.
But I also think an important part about staying is knowing why. Like, why are you doing this? Finding yourself why you started that mission. Like, why am I getting up out of my bed to go to the gym? Why am I sitting down writing my speech? Why am I doing this?
But there's people around that are going to impact that. And you know what? Oftentimes I find that it's the closest people to you
Influencers.
that are going to influence you. And it goes
In a
both
negative
ways.
or in a positive.
It goes both ways, 100%.
Negative or in a positive.
We were talking about this.
You gotta figure that out.
100%. We were talking about this earlier. So, Jacob, you come from a loving and supporting family.
Yeah.
How has that impacted your drive?
That's my whole drive. Like, I'm doing this for my family. Like,
Yeah.
my mom and dad. My dad moved from Jamaica at 21 with next to no education, and look what he built. My mom, her family owns a company. She works hard every day at her company. She works her balls off. Like, she works really hard. Both my parents work hard. That motivates me to keep doing my thing for them. Like, they're grinding for me. They gave me all the opportunities I had. Now I gotta give them some opportunities too.
And good for you. That's like you're a blessed soul, man. That's good. Not a lot of kids would say that, or young men, I should say, would say that.
No, flip side of that, broken homes. How has that impacted drive, both positively and negatively?
I guess you more kind of think you're alone from that.
So what's your
For me, I was mad at my parents. Like
Yeah.
I thought Like,
Backstory. How did you get
so
to
my
that point
parents,
of
they got
frustration?
divorced when I was 8.
Okay.
I have an older brother who's 3 years older than me,
Mm.
and I got an older sister who's 5 years older. And when my parents split up, I didn't even know what was going on. I was 8 years old. I was kind of like, oh, where did my brother and sister go? That's where I'm gonna go. And I did 2 weeks and 2 weeks. I lived at my mom's for 2 weeks. I lived at my dad's for 2 weeks. I did that for about 2 years. And then my first with my sister, she said, I'm gonna go with my mom. And then my brother did the same thing. And I was the one stuck. I didn't know. I was the last one. I'm like, no, I still want to go back. I don't know yet. So then we actually get children lawyers. And this was fun. Now I'm like 10 years old, 2 years down the road. Now my parents are literally having to sit down and like, you have to pick and choose who you want to live. Who's going to win? And I remember growing up, I know, like, I don't get along with my stepmother. I love my dad. We do still talk on the phone, but like there was a long time where we didn't talk. If we made it 10 to 21. Like,
So how do you stay driven?
during that time, my brother and my sister. That's the truth. But like looking back on it now that I'm older, if I were to hold on to that, that's what started my I partied hard and I was doing a lot of drugs, I was drinking lots and very bad scene. And I had it all. I was making $80,000 just to train and fight. I had sponsorships and I fucked that up just for partying, hanging around with the wrong people. And then people always like, oh, how do you like that? And I can sit here all day and blame my childhood and blame this and that, but like I don't do that anymore. I don't. There's no need for it, and it's not going to make me grow to the point where it won't help me.
So you relied on your brother and sister when there was
It's huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Jay, what were you?
I come from a pretty loving home as well. My dad was an ex-convict. My mom's pretty rough.
No, it is shit.
Yeah, but they're the shit. They're still together and they love each other. They love me. And I gotta give them credit too. They never put too much pressure on me. It was all really always up to me. They kind of just said, you pick what you want to do and you do it. And I just, it's back to just being by yourself. I honestly don't really know how I've always had this fire in me. I always have, ever since I can remember. I've always wanted to do something great with my life, and I'm thankful for that. That's where I get my drive, just from myself. It's hard to explain.
The thing that I'm getting from you though is that you're not given opportunities. I think you create a lot of opportunities for yourself, and I think this is a perfect example of that. That no one's in here saying, here's a podcast.
No.
Go impact people. People are saying, you're saying, I'm going to grab this opportunity. I'm going to create the opportunity and then I'm going to grab it. What drives you to just create opportunities? What drives you to be better? What drives you to be excited for new opportunities each and every day?
That hunger for, I feel like I belong in the big lights. Like I like improving. I'm addicted to self-improvement, and I taught myself that from a young age. I started reading Think and Grow Rich when I was like grade 8. I started, what's the other one? Wealthy Barber. I started reading that. I started running. When I was grade 8, 13 years old, I would wake up before school, go run 6K of hills, and then go on my day to school, and nobody told me that. Nobody told me that. I told myself that I want to be something big.
Right. And so what I'm hearing from that is you just had that drive, I think, to be incredibly big. And I think what a lot of people are doing is they're stuck on the first level.
And that's tough, and that's the hardest one. And I promise you, once you get past that first one, you have momentum and you'll keep going.
It's like they're looking at a giant staircase, but it's like if you look at that one step at a time, just take that first step. Now you're one step closer to the top. Now you got to take that second step and just keep going.
Yeah, no. So I feel the same way. It just feels like sometimes they don't know how many steps are on the stairs, in the sense that it could be a million.
It's scary. It's scary. It's scary. I don't even know. Who knows?
Yeah, but we look at it as excitement. We look at it as
we don't know. I'm ready to face that challenge.
Yeah, what happens if you have a goal your whole life, right? My goal is to get a world title. It could be a rugby championship. It could be a Fortnite champion for tournaments. It could be whatever. And so you get there. You get your goal. The thing is, you have to still have that drive for something else. Because once your mind goes stagnant, you need something to look forward to. You need goals.
Well, success isn't defined by one thing.
you can't get lost in the channels, really. Like, you can't get lost in one thing, so hung up on one thing, right?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, exactly. Don't put all your eggs in
Yeah,
one
but then
basket.
people
There's
say-
an expression for that.
But people say if you want to master a craft,
Keep going
put all
at
your
it.
energy into
There
one
is,
thing and
there
master
is,
it.
to a, that is true to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Don't make it so it's ruining other things in your life where you're putting other things down. You know what I mean like that? Like, have a balance. That's it. A
Yeah,
balance
yeah,
between
yeah.
real life and, yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, but I went through a phase where I was really good at a lot of things. I was not great at any one of them, but I was really good at a lot of things. If you handed me a basketball, I could compete at a decent level. On the hockey ice, I could compete at a high level. Track and field, whatever it was, even in the classroom academically. So my point was I was good at a lot of things because I shared my time mastering each and every one of them equally. The second I stopped and I focused my energy on one of them, so rugby, for example, I played 1 year of high school rugby, but when I went to Durham College, you can't just, it's not high school, you don't try out for 4 different teams. You play a sport. So I picked rugby, and I perfected
And
that.
then that was one you got great at.
And that was the one I got great at, but I had
But
time
you
to
put
get
most of your
great.
energy, yeah, you put most of your energy, that you're obviously doing other things. but
Yes,
The majority of your energy was put into playing rugby.
getting better. And I was
taught you
good
that,
at rugby.
And sure, it taught you other things, but all I'm saying is you put your energy into rugby, so you got good at rugby.
Right, and you know what? The other tasks had to be done. I had to go to school, right? I had to be in the gym. I had to go to work. Those tasks had to be done. So what I'm saying is prioritize, of course, but pick one thing. Pick one thing that's burning inside you that you say, I want to be really
Yes.
good at this.
Yeah.
I want to be really great. Go out on the limb. Take that first step that Jacob was talking about on that staircase that we have no idea how many steps are on that staircase. And you know what? For some of us, there's 2 steps. We watch like celebrities, like the yodeling kid. We watch people like that where
Yeah, then all of a sudden the boom.
went from 0 to 100, and we think, oh, that's me. I'm gonna go 0 to 100, and we think our staircase is 2 steps, and we're there.
Typically not.
It's 100,000 steps for the other 99% of the population,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I think we're all in that same boat.
So I want to turn the tables for a sec here.
Mhm.
So you have habits and techniques on how to stay, because you're a creative guy,
Right.
on how to stay creative.
Right.
How do you do it? How do you stay creative? How do you come up with ideas? How do you come up with things to talk about in your speech? What do you do?
Okay, so I have a mentor. She's amazing, Tabitha. She's walking me through that. She's actually going to help me write my life story in a book, and she's going to be my publisher. So it's crazy. So stay tuned to that.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm super excited. That's crazy. I mean,
I'll be your first customer. man.
I'm 22 years old. It's bananas, and I've never been artistic at all.
Me
Oh
neither.
my goodness! Like I was be in art class, and I
I
watched.
did not stick, man.
We were downtown today. We were
Yo,
downtown.
you should see the Arkansas downtown today.
Yeah, I was
Crazy stuff.
We saw people who are like don't even have to try and could create art that was 5 million times me.
Yeah.
And so my mentor, she looked at me and she said, Malcolm, like you're an artist. I said, like hell I am. You know what I mean? I can't sing, I can't draw, I can't color, I can't whatever. She said, no. Like you're an artist, and I had to accept that.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what I draw from. So she gave me this book, and it talks about your creative pond. Okay? Your creative pond is essentially each fish in there is something new and creative in your pond. And you stock your pond. Every time you go out and every time you have an experience, and this is what I was talking to you guys earlier about going out and experiencing life through the eyes of the speaker, where everything's a story. You'll take in everything 100% more, even if you never plan to talk about it, write it in a journal, and if you don't need it ever, somebody will look at it and cherish that. But anyways, so she was talking about my pond and looking at it like that. And every time you do that, you stock your pond. Okay, you keep your pond up to date. Your creativity pond. And I never thought of myself as an artist, and I just accept that. And when I became that, I started thinking about that. And you need to go out on your own. In the book talks about artist dates, and you're taking yourself out, and you stock that pond, because what happens is when you fry all those fish, when I talk about all those experiences that I have gone through, what happens when I'm not creating new experiences? Well, I'm going to start to embellish the truth, right? Is it dead?
No, the mic was being weird apparently.
Oh shit.
One of my boys just messaged me.
Really? Oh,
Oh,
damn.
really?
Yeah, IT guy in effect.
That's
good.
good.
There he is.
They hear that one, Mike, for sure.
Yeah, I was screaming. That's too bad. I was gonna get into a good talk there.
No, you're still good. It was, like you can hear everything. It's just
I know.
stop.
We were in.
Shit, I don't even remember where I
We had the momentum.
No,
still.
that was good.
I was talking about stocking your pond.
Yeah. No, yeah. You got frying your fish,
Frying
stocking
your
your
fish.
palm.
Yes.
You ever heard of bucket filling?
Bucket filling. I think is that similar?
Yeah, have you heard of it?
No.
So everyone has a bucket.
Right.
We all have buckets. Everyone has a bucket, and you can bucket fill. So like, if you want to put things into other people's buckets, you're a bucket filler. If you want to take things from people's buckets, you're a bucket taker.
It's like people walking around looking for handouts.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's 100% it.
Yeah.
And like, I've met people that they'll work their ass off and not expect anything from it, and then I have people that won't work for nothing and expect a handout.
Yeah, you gotta.
And I believe that's from childhood. You know what I mean? I believe you can come from a great family with a lot of money, but you still have this drive. Or you can come from a family that has nothing and be nothing.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Because the same thing is, if you come, like a lot of people like start with a lot, nothing. They're like, the world owes me this. I was dealt a shitty hand in life. This like people should be giving me this.
That's
But
their drive.
that's what they think. Like it's all your mindset too. Because that's their mindset. I got dealt out of a shitty hand. Some people are like, all right, like sucks for me, but I gotta get myself out of here. It's up to me to get myself out of this situation.
I think we need to dive into why though, because I'll tell you something. I'm statistical improbability, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
You're no numbers. You want to see the
And it's not likely for you to be where you're
No,
at.
I shouldn't be here at this table. I'll tell you that. I should have got caught up in
Whatever.
anything, you know, like drugs or anything like that. And I remember I was talking with the police officers, and he was saying that. He was saying he was surprised and he was happy, he was proud, because it would have been so easy to fall into that life.
It is, man. There's so much temptation in the
But I
world.
did.
But why? But why? The people that are listening, or if anybody's gonna listen, want to know why. How? How do you not do that? Why don't you do that? Like, wouldn't it be easier? We were talking about sleeping in. We were talking about how easy it would be to turn your phone.
Yeah,
sleep.
you can do something better.
Because you know what you want, though.
And that makes you sad.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
that aren't doing anything are sad,
Yeah.
typically.
And it makes me sad.
Typically.
People that are that sad. We live in a.
The grass is greener on this side of doing stuff and putting your mind to something. So that should be where it's from. Like,
And if they're not sad, I'm sad for them because they have no idea.
what they're
Yes.
capable of.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
Because I think
Everybody's capable of something. You just gotta find it.
Yeah.
I think at this level we're at right now, it's very high risk, high reward. And you know what? Like even putting yourself out there, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff.
And you would know that the most. You really
But
put
you
yourself
really-
out there.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys are gonna have to catch up to me and just kind of. But my point is, like, that is terrifying, and the problem is that all those successful people, they have their life written about, paparazzi, they've got all of that stuff. Their life is impossibly changed because they took a risk. But we don't see that negativity. We choose to not see that. We choose to see like their fame.
It's like an iceberg, bro.
But they have
All you
so
see is
much
the
hidden.
top.
Yeah, they have so much hidden stuff.
Oh,
and I
they're
feel like
sad as hell behind
and
them.
I feel like we're at the lowest level right now in terms of that and popularity. However, it's the same risks.
It's 2019. You need a phone, any little camera, any little video. People blow up over nothing nowadays because everyone has a phone in hand.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier, like the steps, like some
Like,
people just.
like what I'm saying here is like honestly, like you can start from nothing, but you can post one video, your first video ever, a little quick 10-second clip, and that can go viral. Because it's 2019 where we are.
But even though some of the parts, like some people think like Fatboy SE, I watched this thing on freaking Netflix there.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks he just blew up over one video, but like
he was
he
grinding.
had a huge backstory. Yeah,
He was
he was grinding.
He's a joke.
He's Instagram, yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
famous dude.
Like
You ever seen his videos? Go look it up, man. Go look
the
it up.
Subway cookies, good.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah, like they everyone has their own grind. I think
We don't
even
see that.
though we see that, he posted one video and got famous, there's a lot behind that happened because he was talking about he was posting videos before that
and then posted the one video and it blew up when he was in jail. And then as soon as he got out of jail, he knew he had to jump on. He's like, it's now or never.
Yeah.
And he had to go.
It can go both ways. You can be posting forever and it finally takes recognition after 3 years, or you can get recognition overnight. Post Malone posted a video overnight, and that was an overnight sensation.
100%.
Yeah,
White Iverson
his first song he dropped.
That was
like,
overnight.
What's it called?
White Iverson.
What is it?
White Iverson.
That was his
I
first
first
song.
time I see it come on.
Yeah, but in all fairness, he did go and
He
promote
grinded
that
his
song.
before,
He
yeah.
did go post posters and he did do what he had to do.
I
He just got lucky in a sense. He
So
got lucky.
what that,
No,
like,
you know, Lucky's for the ill prepared. He was prepared for this.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he had to have some sort of preparation. There's no way he just sat down one day and said, I'm gonna write a song. The first song I ever write is gonna be a hit. I'm gonna write one song.
not that
He got his dreads done, and then that's when he said he was gonna do it. Because he got his dreads done, and he was like, "I'm gonna make the White Iverson." Like he got the idea from that when he got, because I watched the whole thing about it. He got his dreads done, and he was like, "I'm feeling different. Like we gotta do something with this." And he thought of Iverson because Iverson had the dreads and stuff, right? And like
And
he
he's
made that
white.
song. Yeah.
What is it on your head, bro? What is it on your head?
This?
Yeah.
Canada go green, brother. We gotta be
Okay,
support
I was
the
the whole time,
support.
like, what is that, bro?
Go green.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man. That's awesome. That's amazing.
You want to take a break here, boys?
Yeah.
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 What time is it?
It's almost
Wait. Before we get into it.
12, bro?
It is.
Yeah.
11:50, boy.
Yo, what to do, baby? What to do, baby? What to do?
I think we should just come to a conclusion.
No,
This is our
I had a lot of nerves. I had a lot of
We have a lot. We're gonna be. This is just our introduction.
If we can do a better one, then we can do a way better.
So we'll just wrap it up.
This is the
Yeah.
first one we did together, boys. You know what I mean?
I know, but let's wrap it up. Now that you guys got my brain shit going here, I'm thinking.
Try and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yo,
First
we gotta say
outro. First outro.
That's what I was trying to say.
What do you think the outro should consist
It's
of?
probably like we all have to like come in and be like something where it's like everyone's like, all right, guys, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
together.
Well,
Thank you for watching.
This is our introduction tape. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like, we didn't really
Yeah,
get
it's
into
not-
that.
it's not-
Honestly, we were pretty scattered. Like we were
Yeah.
a bit scattered. We gotta
Tighten up?
Yeah, we gotta tighten up.
Yeah,
That'll come with a script. 100%.
Yeah, we gotta start doing scripts, but we just got not so shy on camera today.
Yeah, it's just to feel it out,
I
you
was
know?
nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty nervous.
Okay, so we should do an outro. We should do an outro.
What do you think?
That's what I'm saying, right? Like do something like. Obviously, this is gonna be the first. This is the first one we're doing, so we're gonna make tweaks and like think of something after. But I mean, like,
I
try
think we
something
should-
out right now.
I think-
Everyone for themselves, motherfuckers.
I think.
I'll rip my shirt in half, bro. I'm gonna do
That's the video that's going viral. Podcasts are going fucking nuts.
I vote for himself, bro.
He could be like, I'm Josh Wagner. I'm Jake Dayou.
This is
I'm
everyone
not
for themselves.
At the end, and then once everyone goes down, we'll be like,
Yeah, dude.
and thank you for watching. Everyone's for themselves.
I was thinking before we do that, like we have to have steps to the outro. I was thinking.
Yeah, we have to have like a build-up conversation.
I was thinking one takeaway from every podcast.
Alright, so what we're gonna take away from this podcast?
No, like what you took away, what I took away. What did you
I
take away from
said
this
we have
podcast?
like a group takeaway.
A group takeaway?
Yeah, like that's
Just pitch it?
It's yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Alright. Yeah.
But
Like
like,
what we hope also.
Yeah, and
We don't want to drag out
how-
again if we're like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
No, you just, for me, boys, it was honestly.
Maybe we select one person.
Just getting to know the group, you know?
Each
Get
podcast
kind
is
of-
a different person.
We'll just do rotations.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
you
So,
said.
no, this guy's had a fire right here. Listen.
Wait, no. We'll just do rotations.
No, yeah.
You started the intro today.
Yeah.
You start. You do it today. Do the outro. Do the first one.
Okay, and then next time someone is
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I say. The middle C is when like when we have like a topic on like a certain thing. You know how like we said like the relationship things or the boxing thing like that. They'll be like Jake could be like when there's like
Okay.
Jake's boxing, I'm like, you're boxing.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we just fucked this whole thing up, man. Because I think this person's got whatever we're talking about. This person in this hot seat's got to be the expert in that topic, and then they facilitate.
That's what I'm saying.
On there, and then we chime in.
So
but
when
then this
Jake, when we're
person's
talking
the
about
expert.
Jake's boxing, like
That's
man,
it.
that's
But you know, I think we need this shot on there.
That's the show.
No, it's honestly, that's actually the show.
Because yo, even our guests and everything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, yo.
I'll be there like
And
we'll
then
have our two
they
cents.
would sit here and then they're talking or whatever.
So we should have done our first one about public speaking.
Yo, this was the one.
Yo, shotgun a beer, man.
I'll get off.
Yeah, what up?
I'm fucking 22, I'm engaged, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man, this guy's I'm engaged.
I'm fucking. I want to do a life short, bro. You got everything like.
What is it, bro? Yo, listen, I'm a spaz, man. My name's Josh Wagner, and I'm a spaz.
Oh, it is my fire. You just said fire, man. Oh, man.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Nah, it was pretty bad.
Yo, I need you to, Jacob, I need you to drive me downtown.
Yeah, I got you.
To wrap up.
Where you going?
Downtown to meet my cousins. I was supposed to be
Like downtown Toronto?
Like downtown stomping grounds.
Yeah. Where you can walk in 3 minutes.